Hey, how's it going, everybody? Lewis here. Hope you're having a blessed Sunday afternoon. I'm out here, birds chirping, right next to the big fir trees. Good energy. Anyway, I was having a talk with Melanie about something super important that makes a lot of people's life really miserable. It makes their relationships very difficult or lack of because of this dynamic. It blocks them from even having a relationship in the first place, let alone a good one. Now, relationship with a loved one, a job, a community, relationship to life overall, this concept applies to all those things, so stay tuned. What is the concept? Being consciously transactional. That's a word sandwich, right? Consciously transactional. Now, what does that mean? It basically means that you're being conscious and aware of the transactions going on in your life. And that's really important in relationships. Why? Because in every relationship, there's this give and take constantly that's going on, whether you're aware of it or not. The key that I'm going to keep bringing up in this video is awareness. How aware are you that there is something that in this relationship or community or job that you are benefiting from, and something that you have to offer that that community, your loved one or job or whatever, is also benefiting from? So this is a very difficult one for the big three-letter word, the ego, because the ego has characteristic traits to it. It wants to be right all the time. It wants to be controlling. It wants to be competitive. So the ego is the separate self, right? It's the branch of the tree. It's not the whole tree. It's the me versus you mindset. It's the part of you that is survival oriented, and it's got a role. So we could get mad at the ego and whatever. The thing is, though, is without being aware and conscious, the ego can take control of your life and get in the driver's seat of your actions. So remedy is awareness. That's why things like meditation are so good, because you're more aware of your thoughts. You slow down. You're aware of the impulses. You're aware of what drives your actions, your intentions. I'm big on journaling and meditating, doing yoga to slow down and break the chain of thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, actions, or lack of action. Because without stopping that chain, the same patterns of the ego will continue and wreak havoc in your life until you have that aha moment, that awareness moment. A lot of people end up by just hating relationships overall, like I did in the past. I was very antisocial for a while, and I moved far away from where I grew up to when I was 23 years old to Fargo, North Dakota, and I just hid, and I spent a lot of time alone, away from community, because I felt that community and relationships caused a lot of pain to me in the past, and I was in that really angry mindset too, and I thought that there was something wrong with me, that I was worthless, that I had really nothing to offer relationships or community. And I felt that it was my, of course, ego thinking, my negative thinking, that people were just out to control me and manipulate me and take advantage of me. And of course, with a lot of introspection, it's understandable why I thought that way, because of certain things from the past and so on that I've had to find a lot of healing with. Now, that's why this whole journey of wellness and growth and self-exploration is a journey in itself. There's cycles to it and time and so on. So I guess you could say one of the solutions that I found in overcoming this conundrum of being consciously transactional is also knowing my worth. knowing what I'm good at, knowing what I bring to the table in a job or in a relationship, in a friendship. I'm a good listener and accepting, hardworking, and it was really hard for me to realize that there was good things about me because I felt that I was shamed and called stupid and put down a lot. So it took me finding my worth, and that's a hard thing to do sometimes, but worth looking at. And now, going forward in my relationship now, we both know that there's things that Melanie is good at that I'm not that good at, and I really appreciate. She's really organized and very detailed, and I used to hate doing my taxes when I first met her even, and now I learned a lot from her, and it's easy for me to do, and I like it. There's things that she learns and likes about me too, and just having that conversation with them, like, it dissolves that whole tug of war of the ego a little bit when we know we want each other. We know that we benefit from each other, and it's healthy. That's the thing. The ego wants to be super independent, and now that's an illusion. Right now, there's bees pollinating the flowers and the trees, and there's an exchange amongst atoms and neutrons and electrons and all that, whatever. I'm not a scientist, but you get it. We depend on oxygen and water, and nobody's totally independent. You don't want to be codependent. That's one extreme. But you don't want to be hyper independent because we're never alone. So interdependence, this balance, is super important. And that's just the way that it is. It's just the way of nature in this life where we are. So acceptance is a big framework of healing and growth, right? So accepting that that's just how the system works, and there's good things about that too, of course. So challenge your mindset and challenge your ego. Ask yourself why. Take it to a journal. Take it to a therapist if you need to. Meditate. Talk to somebody. Be curious about your quirks. Some people are really sneakily manipulative, and they will leech from people and take from people, and they won't admit to those people that there's something that they value in them, and that's not right. Of course, they were raised to be a certain way too, maybe very competitive and sneaky and snaky, and as a survival mechanism. That's if you want to understand, because we got to take the shame out of the equation if we want to grow too, right? Why did this come about? Because somebody taught us about scarcity and the survival of the fittest, and that we need to constantly look out for ourselves and be very animalistic, and that's not the reality of things most of the time. Fear is not always telling you a true story. Sometimes it's not taking real data of what's in front of you, and it's kind of just wreaking havoc in your life. So be consciously transactional. Be aware of the energy exchanges going on in your life and your relationships, and be direct with your needs. Be direct with your wants to other people. Be direct with telling people what you value about them, and know your value. The more that you solidify this inside of you, it takes practice, the more natural it will be. Really hard concept for a lot of people to get used to. It was for me, for sure. So tell me, have you noticed any type of dynamic like this arise in your own life? Leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it and chat about it. So take care, everybody. Please like and subscribe if you found any use of this video. Peace.